The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Attention Ditto Heads. Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the soul of excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's James Golden.
Senator, on that note, just I guess a question that's out there. Why wouldn't they have been released the last 4 years when President Biden was in office?
Well, that's the question every American is asking. Not every American, but so many Americans are asking. What the hell is he hiding? Why doesn't he want them released?
Why should Americans trust you and House Democrats on the Jeffrey Epstein files when one of your own, Congresswoman Plaskett, was found to be texting with Jeffrey Epstein during a hearing, getting information from him, using that in her questioning during a congressional hearing, and at one point he tells her, "Good job."
This is a bipartisan effort to make sure that, consistent with what the survivors have requested, that there's full and complete transparency, and every single predator who may be in those Justice Department files doesn't escape accountability. Thanks.
Okay, you have the two Democrat. Welcome, my friends. First, hello, welcome. James Golden, fastest hour in American media. All that. Okay, you have these two Democrat leaders asked about this ongoing Epstein stuff, and you hear the wiggles, you hear the squiggles, you hear the avoidance. They cannot answer the questions that are put forth to them directly. That is nothing new for politicians, but in these two cases, it's exceptionally bad. They just brazenly deer in the headlight look, and then let me just go off script and try to Trump. How should we trust Democrats? This is bipartisan. Answer the question. We shouldn't trust Democrats. We're up to our necks with this Epstein stuff, and this may be a big S show by the time it's over. And Chuck U. Schumer, whose approval rating, have a story. Didn't even mean to start with this. Let me just dig it out, the headline. Chuck Schumer's approval hits rock bottom with less than a third giving him passing grades. And he can't answer a question. Okay. We've got all of that. I'm going to ask some very serious. I almost want to take phone calls for this. But if we do, I don't want to hear from just the same old. I'd love to hear people that actually know the answer to this, because I don't know the answer to this question. Number one, I see, and we have audio from the press conference after the discharge petition. It passed overwhelmingly in the House. After Trump said release the files, it was like 400 blah, blah, blah to 1. Okay, overwhelmingly to release the Epstein files. The measure passes the House. It was bipartisan. Only one vote opposed. Big vote. Okay, but I have questions about all of this. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene out. You have Thomas Massey. They're running laps to get in front of the cameras and victory and all this. We have Nancy Mace on it, one of the original four. But one of the things that happened, we had some of the women there. And one of them went political and blamed Trump for everything. Went into the whole shutdown, went into all of this. This is one of the quote-unquote survivors. Cut 11. Let's start with that from the press conference. We may not listen to all of it.
The President of the United States of America, who is not here today, I want to send a clear message to you. While I do understand that your position has changed on the Epstein files, and I'm grateful that you have pledged to sign this bill, I can't help to be skeptical of what the agenda is. So, with that being said, I want to relay this message to you. I am traumatized. I am not stupid. I am traumatized. I am not stupid. You have put us through so much stress, the lockdowns, the halt of these procedures that were supposed to have happened 50 days ago. The Adelita Grijalva who waited to get sworn in. and then get upset when your own party goes against you because what is being done is wrong. It's not right. For your own self-serving purposes, this is America.
All right, so this is the kind of Trump bashing that went there today. The budget, Trump wasn't responsible for the shutdown. She's typical Democrat rhetoric garbage. Didn't sign the congresswoman the president doesn't swear in members of Congress. And Congress was closed, but she's going to go on this partisan Democrat liberal rant. And she's one of the survivors. Okay, so here's my question. And I don't mean this question in a hostile way. By the way, Princess Diana just texted me. Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries invited Epstein to a dinner to solicit money from him in 2013 after Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of procuring a child for prostitution. That is from a Libs of TikTok post today. So Libs of TikTok made that post, and Princess Diana brought it to my attention. Thank you. I shall look into it. But you heard this woman, she's a survivor. So here's my question, and let me just preface this by saying I don't know the answer to this. I don't know. I know peripheries on the Jeffrey Epstein story, followed it. They let him off in Florida. Still don't understand all that happened down there because I have not done the deep, I want to write a book on Jeffrey Epstein research. I don't know a lot of things. I know what's in the news, but I don't know how some of this originated. People don't even know how he made his money, really. This guy goes from a school teacher to a billionaire, and people are trying to figure out how this really happened, the pathway to his money. I don't have that question answered. Also, all of these women that are stepping forward now, many of them were teenage girls. I understand that. But I posed a question earlier, and I don't know the answer to this. Were all of the women connected with Epstein and connected with these sexual kind of modern age whorehouse things going on, or there's got to be a better bordello things going on? Were all of them underage, or were there some adults involved in this too? That's question number one. Question number two, how could so many teenage girls be mixed up in this and not have police looking for them, parents looking for them, whatever? How does that happen? I do not know the answer to that question. The other question that I don't know is, were all of these women coerced? In other words, what I'm asking, and I understand this is a very sensitive question, and I get it, and I'm not trying to point my finger in judgment. I'm simply asking a real question here. Did some of these women know what was going on with Jeffrey Epstein and want to be in on it because of the fame, the wealth, flying around on the private jets, the lifestyle, all of that? Or were all of them coerced? Had no clue what was going to happen, and as a result, they were pretty much kidnapped and forced into sexual slavery. Does anybody know the answer to those questions? Thank you. We're going to take a break now. I got other stuff I want to do today. In fact, let's open the phone lines, 800-848-9222. If anyone wants to answer those questions, and just those questions, Vince, I'm not going on these off topics. Those questions I asked about the Epstein case, I would like to know the answer. James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media. I want to play something when we get back from the break. So we're going to break just a little bit early. I want to play one of the most brilliant takedowns of a reporter, a news reporter in American history. James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media. Do not go away.
Rush. This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Snerdley.
Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
Well, we have people on the telephone that want to answer the questions, and I mean these questions in all sincerity. I don't know the answer to them about Epstein. And some of the questions, again, just to recap, how is it that these young ladies, these girls, number one, were they all teenagers? Were they adults? How is it, if they were teenagers, that there were no reports, or were there reports in the news, and it became an issue about parents, et cetera, et cetera? Third question, was there consent involved? And I understand minors can't give legal consent, but did some of these now Epstein survivors know what was going on? And if they found out what was going on, then I don't. So those are questions. We have people on the phones, and those are the only things I'm taking phone calls on, because I got some other news I want to do. 800-848-9222. One of the things that I said I wanted to do, and we will get to your calls. We have lots of calls. Get to them. Today, a question was asked of President Trump in the Oval Office. He is in there with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, working on a very big deal, more trade. In fact, Saudis are going to put in about another $1 trillion into the American economy. He was, the Crown Prince was also Solomon was also asked about the Khashoggi murder. President Trump kind of deflected that question from him. He didn't know about it. Okay? Yeah, okay. But questions. ABC reporter steps up, Mary, whatever her name is, and this exchange, one of the more interesting takedowns of a reporter I have ever heard in my life. Here's what it sounded like.
Why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. But I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton. Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today. It's a hoax. Now, I just got a little report, and I put it in my pocket, of all the money that he's given to Democrats. He gave me none, zero, no money to me. But he gave money to Democrats. And people are wise to your hoax. And ABC's, your company, your crappy company, is one of the perpetrators. And I'll tell you something.
So why not just sign it now?
I think the license should be taken away from ABC because your news is so fake. And it's so wrong. And we have a great commissioner, the chairman, who should look at that. Because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump and then Trump wins the election in a landslide, that means obviously your news is not credible. And you're not credible as a reporter. So I've answered your question. You should go and look at the Democrats who received money from Epstein, who spent their time. Larry Summers was with him all the time. That creep of the fund guy was with him all the time. What's his name? Who? Reid Hoffman. I don't know Reid Hoffman, but I know he spends a lot of money on the radical left. Reid Hoffman, in my opinion, should be under investigation. He's a sleazebag. And those are the people, but they don't get any press, they don't get any news, and you're not after the radical left because you're a radical left network. But I think the way you ask a question with the anger and the meanness is terrible. You ought to go back and learn how to be a reporter. No more questions from you. Who else has a question?
That was the takedown of takedowns. I wonder, I just wonder how these reporters, after they get through that session, do they walk out and feel like, well, I feel proud? Or do they walk out and feeling just a little bit of, I don't know what it is. Anyway, we have phones. I want to grab as many people as I can that have the answers to this. We have less than a minute. Gail from Pennsylvania, you called in. What is the answer to the questions posed about Epstein from your point of view?
I looked it up, and there was a multi-million-dollar settlement fund for these women. There were 150 women, and they made about $5 million each. Plus, in addition to the Epstein settlement fund, Morgan Chase and another bank had another settlement fund. So they're walking away with huge settlements. They probably don't talk about the men because there's probably a non-disclosure agreement with each of them. So obviously, they're money grubbers. I think it's really a shame they were abused. However, they have been reimbursed. So to go on and on, I do not respect them.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, and folks, the questions that I raised involve teenage girls. Where are the parents? Where were they? Where the 150 girls? No news of this until it broke in Florida. And then Democrats, I believe, pushed it under the rug. And the issue of consent. James Golden, fastest hour in American media. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush. Our president was able to find under the couch cushion, the one that JD wasn't sitting on, under the couch cushion, he was able to find 40. How much did he find to send to Argentina?
How much
40.
Did he
there
find?
we go. 40 billion to send to Argentina. But those emergency funds, he couldn't find them emergency funds so that Americans could eat. So listen, if y'all are going to be honest and talk about Epstein right now, let's be honest about everything that is causing y'all to lose real bad. Did y'all see the election results on November 4th? It didn't go very well. So let's just start having honest conversations so that hopefully some of y'all in some of these tight seats, maybe y'all can get reelected and we can just work together.
Ms. Crockett.
The general leader, you? Who, what, both of y'all want? Y'all want some?
James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media. We have people still wanting to answer the questions I raised about Epstein. I want to get to them. Let's whip through this. The new spokesperson for the for the MAGA movement, the new spokesperson was at the post-Epstein press briefing, cut 9, and here is the spokesperson for MAGA this afternoon.
One of the most destructive things to MAGA is watching the man that we supported early on, 3 elections, for people that stood hours, slept in their cars to go to rallies, have fought for truth and transparency and to hold what we consider a corrupt government accountable. Watching this actually turn into a fight has ripped MAGA apart. And the only thing that will speak to the powerful, courageous women behind me is when action is actually taken to release these files, and the American people won't tolerate any other bullshit. That's where we are today. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the spokesperson for MAGA, Marjorie, whatever, Taylor Greene. Okay, Nancy Mace, who also was part of the original 4 pressing it, was on CNN. She took a different approach. And that's cut 10. Here's Nancy Mace.
This is going to be historic. And the thing that I'm really frustrated with the media right now is that they want to focus on President Trump. And they're not telling the stories of these women who risked it all, their careers, their livelihood, their futures, to come forward, the courage that it took. Those are the stories we should be telling right now, not the clickbait of what Trump said or he said, she said. I want to hear their stories, because getting this kind of justice, getting this kind of thing, this evidence to come out, voting on it, it's never happened before. And I have to tell you, I'm in my own fight right now.
Well, I am proud that on this program we've had every victim of Jeffrey Epstein that was willing to speak. But the President of the United States did say over the weekend that only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into the trap of voting for the release of the files.
And he's come around, and that's a good thing.
That he did
but
not want
Biden
these
wouldn't
files
do
to come
anything.
out.
But Trump has come around, and Biden never came around. Biden never gave these women a chance, and that's the story you all aren't telling. When I went through my
they had an
trauma 2 years
investigation
ago,
into Ghislaine Maxwell, which resulted in her being put in prison, and then she was moved to a minimum security prison in a residential neighborhood after meeting with Todd
Maxwell
Blanche.
in front of the oversight committee. I want to take her on. I want all the facts. I want to have.
You notice these reporters? That's Erin Burnett from CNN. You notice these reporterette women. Well, guys, they never let the person that they invite as the guest answer the damn question if it's something they don't want to hear. They jump in and they argue the Democrat position. They don't let them finish and then bring a point. They jump in like they're the opponent. Oh, no, don't mention Biden. Blah, blah, blah. And they start arguing like they're a participant in the Democrat Party, because they are. And that's why they're taking the Democrat position. It's ridiculous. Woman can't even finish her answer with Erin Burnett drop in. Oh, no, don't you say that about Biden. Biden gets Ghislaine. Okay. Stacey Plaskett. Now, remember, we've since learned that this woman, she's from the St. Thomas, down there where the island is. I'll tell you what, let's go to phones. People have been waiting. I want to get to their phone calls. Billy, Brooklyn, is calling. Billy, what is it you want to say about the Epstein business?
Oh, I wanted to, nice to speak to you. I wanted to speak to Kelly.
Look here, I need you to just please, I got to move on. Thank you. Mike in New Jersey, you're up next. How are you?
Okay, Bo. I have some info for you. Originally, this problem you asked about, who were these girls? Originally, there was a 17-year-old girl in Florida whose father overheard her talking to her girlfriends about meeting at an airport. The father questioned the girl, and she went mum and wouldn't tell him anything. So he followed her to the airport, and her girlfriends were meeting at Jeffrey Epstein's plane. He took them away. Then he went to the law authorities, and they didn't do anything. So he had a friend high up in close to the Attorney General in Florida who investigated it. And his answer from the Attorney General was, we have to drop this now. And he said, why? And they wouldn't give him an answer. He pressed forward. In another week, he found out it was coming from the White House.
The White House at the time?
Yes, which was Clinton.
Clinton White House. Okay. Interesting. I've never heard that part of the story. Thank you. I'm going to look into this now that I'm forced to. I'm going to have to take a deeper dive into this whole thing. But, so, this goes to part of the question that I asked. I understand that they're minors, and technically, minors can't give consent. But can we talk about what is not legal, the legal definition of consent, and talk? No, he wasn't kidnapping these girls. So apparently some of these girls knew what they were doing even though they were underage. Apparently. If this caller is correct. If anyone has any information to refute that, please let me know. Okay, Marianne is calling in from Connecticut. Marianne.
Hi, James. Hi, James. I
Hi
just
there.
wanted to let everybody know that there was a book published on the subject back in 2016 and a documentary series in 2020 that gave a lot of details about the grooming of the girls and how they went about it. And you're absolutely right. They weren't taken against their will, but they were groomed and enhanced and attracted by the power and the money because these kids did not come from wealthy families.
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much. Again, if anyone has additional information on those questions, just those questions. I didn't mean to be rude to the other caller, but, I meant to call Kelly. Well, didn't call Kelly. 800-848-9222 is the number to reach us, 800-848-9222. All right, Stacey Plaskett. This is the one Epstein was texting her during congressional hearing of Michael Cohen. And there are questions being raised about that. Went back to the archives, found Stacey Plaskett in 2023, 2 years ago. And this is what she had to say about her contributions to Epstein Cut 7. This is what Plaskett had to say.
Does Representative Plaskett have anything to say? Business Insider has reported on this as recently
She was on C-SPAN.
July of 2023. About meeting with Jeffrey Epstein in 2018 and receiving $30,000 of campaign contribution.
Jeffrey Epstein was a resident of the Virgin Islands. He wanted to make contributions to the Democratic Party. He asked for a contribution. He made contributions to my campaign. I do believe that he was a reprehensible person. And after finding out what he had done, I gave the money that he had contributed to my campaign to nonprofit organizations dealing with supporting women and children in my community.
Uh-huh. I think that should be fact-checked. I think we need to see what in her community, where she gave the money to. Okay, turning the page. Mamdani. This is one of the most incredible things I have ever heard a mayor of any American city say. Cut 13. This is the incoming mayor of New York. New York City speaks for itself.
You said you would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu based on the 2024 International Court arrest warrant. Next UN General Assembly, as mayor, would you do that?
So I've said time and again that I believe this is a city of international law, and being a city of international law means looking to uphold international law, and that means upholding the warrants from the International Criminal Court, whether they're for Benjamin Netanyahu or Vladimir Putin. I think that that's critically important to showcase our values, and unlike Donald Trump, I'm someone who looks to exist within the confines of the laws that we have. So I will look to exhaust every legal possibility, not to create my own laws to do so.
On the other hand, this is also a world event. Does that not count a little bit?
Well, I think we are a global city, but I also think what New Yorkers are looking for is consistency in the way in which we talk about our values and follow through on them. And that's why I think these warrants from the International Criminal Court, they are worth fully exploring every legal possibility to actually follow through on.
This is amazing to me. This individual, elected mayor, pledges to follow international law. He won't even follow federal law. It is federal law that made it illegal for illegal immigrants to enter the United States. He doesn't want to follow federal law. He's fighting tooth and nail, as all Democrats are. This incident, the things that are happening in Charlotte are amazing. The Democrats are all out fighting to keep illegal immigration alive in Charlotte, as they are in every blue city. But this guy can sit down with the reporter and start preaching about international law, how he's an international. They don't even follow federal law, and they don't want to. To that end, big story today. The federal court, when you hear those three words, you know what's a federal court, has blocked Texas Republican congressional map. This is it was a 3-judge panel. It is going to be appealed. It better be appealed. It's 2-1, sided with civil rights groups that had sued to invalidate the Texas maps. The story's not going to end there. Those groups are all doing a victory dance, whatever. going to be appealed, and they have to go up to the Supreme Court. They want the 2006 maps in place. So this is just one of the insane rulings coming out of the court. There was another one, I don't have it in front of me, that basically says that illegal immigrants from another federal court, illegal immigrants have the rights to have commercial driver's licenses, illegal immigrants on American roads. It's asinine. But this liberals on the court, like liberals in the press, will stop at nothing to defend the liberal agenda. Let's see. We're going to take a quick break. We'll do that now. James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media. Do not go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush. Now here's James Golden.
The government is back open. In the weeks before Thanksgiving, they are not starving anymore.
I'm trying to figure out why the people so mad about food stamps. And it's only the palm color people. Like, literally, if you want food stamps, just apply and lie. That's it. Apply and lie. You see how they be stealing from us? Steal from them. Literally, you can have a 9 to 5, a 5 to 10, a 10 to 12 job and still get that EBT. Just tell them you don't work. That's it. Just tell them you don't work and you gonna get the funds. I've been doing it. I'm gonna still keep doing it. I'm gonna forever do it. Catch me if you can.
1956 on this day, Fats Domino appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show, and he performed his standard. This version of Blueberry Hill was ranked 82 in Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. Let me see. Well, I think my princess may have said something here. Oh. Woo! Princess Di has sent me an extensive piece. The Daily Beast 2011, titled Behind Pedophile Jeffrey Epstein's Sweetheart Deal. You can no longer easily assess it, but it goes into detail on Epstein with the girls. I will be looking at this and report back mañana. In the meantime, Cindy in New Jersey. Very quickly, Cindy, we have about a minute for you. How are you, Cindy?
I am super, and I want to thank you for all that you do. Listen, I'm horrified that one of your callers claimed that those girls, those victims, have been paid off with $5 million apiece, and they're nothing but gold diggers. I have 3 friends, 60 and 70 years old, who were sexually abused as children, and I can promise you that has stayed with them their entire lives. They've had abusive marriages, failed relationships, no boundaries, no self-esteem, and it is a profoundly life-altering kind of an experience at that young of an age. I'm sorry, that woman is totally missing the mark, and I'm horrified that anybody out there would think that this is okay. I don't understand it.
Cindy, thank you, but I must ask you just one question. No, I'm not going to ask it. Because we don't have time for an answer, and that's the only reason. I hope to talk to you soon again, because I have more questions for you, Cindy, and I really appreciate you calling. Thank you. I want to squeeze in Ann's call very quickly before we have to leave. Ann?
Hello, how you doing?
Good. You're calling from Florida.
I'm calling from Florida. I had seen a 60 Minutes Australia film or something on my YouTube, and some of these girls, and this is not true with all of them, but he focused in on children from dysfunctional backgrounds. They came to his house, they gave him massages, they were paid by him, and he also encouraged them to recruit other girls, and he would give them additional money. So this was like a sex Ponzi thing. I'm not saying that all these girls are guilty. I'm just saying that some of them, one of them even said in the interview, I feel guilty about going out and getting some of the girls for him.
Got it. Ann from Florida, thank you. And I will have more tomorrow on the information that Princess Di sent me today. And we're going to continue with the politics and not get distracted from the other things. But I want to leave today with Johnny Mercer, American lyricist, songwriter, singer. He is one of the founders of Capitol Records, which, of course, the icons of Capitol. But he's also one of the most successful songwriters. The Day of Wine and Roses, you heard, and this one is one of his, Moon River. Wrote Autumn Leaves, another standard, Hooray for Hollywood. Over 1,500 songs. We have to go, folks. May God bless and protect each and every single one of you, your family, your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, we're back tomorrow. In the meantime, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy.
Download and subscribe
at BeBullish.com.